Welcome back to Recovering from Everything, a podcast for everyone who's ever had anything happen to them ever. I'm Kinga. I'm your host. Welcome back. I have a little bit of a racy one for us today. I've been feeling a little bit feisty. I've been trying to run kind of like a newer style of ad. All my ads, they're either broken or I suddenly become like a really shitty copywriter because I can't quite speak to the type of woman that I like to work with. And that's always kind of like what I've done. And the way that I like to work is I like to speak to the type of woman that I would want to work with for 12 weeks, frankly, or that my coaches would want to work with for 12 weeks. And I'm really struggling. I'm not speaking to her. And so I think maybe like, have I lost my pizzazz? Why am I too soft? Because I'm not, but maybe in my ad writing I am. I don't know. Anyways, I wrote a little podcast, like, a few notes today on something I want to talk about that is like a real core kind of like theme, milestone. It's just like a core belief in my program, in my base program, the Self-Control Solution, but then also in my Ascension program, Mastery, is trying to, what is this? This is a fun situation. The bangs. Okay. Hello. You guys settle down. The kind of like the requirement of getting to know yourself and understand yourself and, really excavating all the things that make you you and not really leaving any stone unturned in the sort of pursuit of being completely in control of yourself, your drinking, and your life. So the episode today is, I'll tell you what it's about. I'm not sure what the title is yet. I sometimes think of those things like way later, but maybe you're not hooked on alcohol. Maybe you're hooked on escaping yourself. And this has been a real theme for all of the women that come in to my program. Even up until, last week, a couple of my members are like, I still find the question of like, how are you feeling? Or what are you celebrating? Or what do you like doing? They find it very daunting and difficult to answer. So we'll go into that and some of the details there today. I have got my new podcast spot. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. I don't like being like this lit. I just kind of want to make it like darker a little bit, but I don't know if that's working. And then this plant here, which is in an old wine carafe, because it's not a wine carafe when it's holding a plant. And then I've got my stemless water glass. It's never been a wine glass, nor will it ever be a wine glass. It currently contains warm water and lemon juice. Get the detox going, right? I've been very aware of what I've been putting in my body lately. I mean, that said, I'm still have my vape literally right next to me, and God only knows what's in that. I'll tell you what's not in it though: nicotine, because I'm still nicotine free. The vaping is just kind of for my ADHD and like for something to do. God, I've been thinking about smoking a lot though. Anywho, I have been very careful what I'm putting in my body this week because it is, so I'm in perimenopause. You know this because I never shut the fuck up about it, but I'm in perimenopause. So every day my body looks different. I have to be very careful with like what I'm eating to keep my hormones balanced and last. And so I haven't really dialed in, But last week, I was in my luteal phase. I'm currently menstruating. Thank God it's only women. If you're a man, you've probably clicked off of this about 30 seconds ago, but thank goodness it's all women. But my luteal phase, the week before my period, it's game over. Like, I'm bloating. I look like I'm 6 months pregnant. I'm not sleeping, and I've got my sleep dialed in all the other days. So I left the gym one day like crying because I'm so frustrated. I'm so tired. I'm so bloated. Like, it seems like all the hard work that I've been doing to get control over my body is just like undone last week. And one of my girlfriends is a registered dietitian, and I joined her school group. School is SKOOL. It's an app where different people have different services. And we're also building a school group to make it slightly more affordable, significantly more affordable to work with me. Somebody please remind me to talk about that towards the end of the episode. But I'm in Sarah's school group, and she's got all these different modules. And anyways, I ended up FaceTiming her, and I was like, listen, I'm really frustrated. I don't recognize my body. I'm so tired. Like, and she's so sweet. She's like, what do you need to hear right now? That you look amazing no matter what, or do you need like nutritional information? I was like, no, I need nutritional advice. I need to like get this week dialed in, because like this is really annoying for me. It was like devastating, like I just work so hard, right? And then it's like, oh, the week before my period, it's like it all gets wiped out. Hardly seems fair. Anyway, she gave me I just want to make sure my mic is connected. I think it is. She gave me a couple of documents of like what foods are great in what phase of my cycle, and then what foods are good in what phase of my cycle as a perimenopausal woman. I mean, she's a genius. I should link her. I'll link her school group also. Anyways, so that was my week, and I don't know why I got onto that. Oh, why I'm drinking hot water, really, with lemon. It's good for the liver, cleans out the liver, which keep my estrogen levels normal, which keeps my stress levels normal, which will stop me from waking up at 3 a.m. in a panic. And I love that for me, because I love sleep and I need sleep. So, all right, let's get into it. You're probably not hooked on the alcohol. You're probably hooked on escaping yourself. Okay, this is uncomfortable for some women. And then for some women, they're like, oh my God, you're right. A lot of the women I work with have a really difficult time being alone. I know this was true for me also, but just like being by themselves, unfiltered, undiluted, with wine. It's really hard for us to just like spend a night at home, right? A big deal with one of my clients was getting her condo to feel like a safe space. Because anytime she was home alone, she would want to be drinking. And so when she finally did reach that kind of goal, the safe space, now she's like, I love being at home. So it's not like it's not an idea of like you hate yourself. It's not that. That might be true for some women, but that's not necessarily the conclusion I'm asking you to draw. It's not that you hate yourself, but we get so consumed and like busy and distracted, right? Careers and families and our friends and our neighbors and education and our grandkids and whatever. We get consumed by that stuff, right? Stuff that like does contribute to our identity, to the point that we could also just hide behind that stuff and never actually have to get to know myself. Like, how am I feeling? What do I like doing in my spare time? What makes me passionate? One of my ladies last week, we were talking about like how hard it is to identify some stuff still with ourselves, like hobbies, for example. And she was like, I don't know what my hobbies are yet, but she said that she'd heard this really wonderful thing that she kind of uses as her sort of compass, is what would make me pound my fist on the table, like what could I just go on and on and on about so enthusiastically. Do that. So, and these, I was having this discussion with on my members call, which is a separate call for women who stay in the community after they've finished the base program. And so these women have been with me for, these particular two that I'm talking about have been with me for 9 months, a year, something like that. So it's still very much like a building block process, because you can eliminate the alcohol, right? Or you can eliminate it entirely. But you can also eliminate the consistent leaning on it. And what are you left with? You're left with you. And like, who are you? Right? I had the same identity crisis where I was like, am I like boring? No, it wasn't that. It's just I'd never given myself the opportunity to like really pursue things that made Kinga Kinga. And I'm a real nerd, I'll tell ya. Like I like what I like and I get in there. I think it's like the ADHD where I'm like, I was sharing this with the ladies. Like I really love annotating lyrics to like old songs and putting them into context and like doing the research for it. Because went to journalism school and I like worked for my university paper also. So like there's just like the digging I really like, right? Even with my clients, like we're always digging for something, but like that's so oddly specific to me, so yeah, you are sort of, if slowly but surely we do, remove alcohol's like main character role in your life, you are left with you. And that can be very, very overwhelming for women, or intimidating is actually probably a good word. Because for many of us, that canvas is fairly blank. Like there's a few things on there, you know, but it's like on a Tuesday night after work, on a work night or whatever, like what's on your canvas? What are we doing with that time? So once the alcohol starts to get eliminated consistently, we're left with ourselves, and there's no escaping ourselves. And that's one of the things that like no one really talks about, is like, well, how do we fill our spare time, right? Like in a way that is meaningful, that doesn't feel like a waste of time. Because I'd hate to be like, oh, like go for walks, and you're like, I hate walks and they're stupid, or like I live, in the North Pole, or something. How are you going to fill your time in a way that is fulfilling for your soul, and is fun for you, and is like enjoyable? Like, what are we going to do there, right? If we're not escaping ourselves, if we're confronting ourselves, we might as well make it like a good time. But I think like the typical messaging out there, or maybe women's typical understanding of what it means to start really removing alcohol from your life, is that it's some sort of punishment, or that it's going to be followed by a lot of discomfort. That's not necessarily true. There might be discomfort in noticing how quiet your night is, but you have full permission to fill it with doing something you love, even if that something you love is like weird and maybe society wouldn't understand it, right? Like, I don't know. Oh, one of my clients like took up guitar lessons. I took up drumming in my first year. Um, some of you know that really I'm a shitty drummer, but like that was really freaking fun. And like I would really look forward to, after a while, getting home from work and just being like putting my earbuds in and like trying to play along to like songs that I liked. Um, I'm not saying go buy a drum kit. You can get like electric ones and the kit's much smaller. But yeah, like that's a very like you did what kind of thing, right? Give yourself permission to have a wait, you did what? You took up what kind of moment. Your life is meant to be enjoyed. So allow yourself to start enjoying it. Do the weird, quirky things that you think, people would like think you're weird. Do that stuff. I do notice that when women first join me, and I've noticed this forever, and I have like kind of like a fail safe, like a safety net for it, but they are so profoundly disconnected emotionally from themselves. Like they'll cry, but not necessarily be able to articulate how they're feeling. Um, so it, and some of them don't cry. And that's also completely normal and common. Um, there, you guys know I'm like a raging feminist. So I think we are trained very early to put our needs and feelings aside. You know, the stereotypical woman is trained to be of service in some way to her partner, to her kids, to whoever needs it, right? Like we're the nurturing sex, right? So it makes a lot of sense to me why if I'm like, hey, how are you feeling today? Like literally name me 3 feelings. They'd be like, I'm good or I'm fine. Like happens a lot. Um, but it's very important for women, especially the women I work with. I think like the generation, the younger generation now, what are they? Gen Z. I'm an elder millennial. I think it's Gen Z. And so it's my elder millennials plus the boomers, the Gen Xers. Um, we're trained to like there's a lot of like manners situation. There's a lot of like don't rock the boat with authority, right? Be nice, be good, be desirable, look a certain way, um, be accommodating, don't be too much, don't upset anyone, don't have any needs, um, don't rest for too long, don't disappoint people. So eventually we become these like functional sort of like machines, um, which is why so many women say things like, like I'm not even, I don't know how I ended up drinking this much. Like I don't know how I ended up here. I don't know why I drink this much. And I'm like, like give me like a just a slice of your day, and I bet I can figure it out. But it is like such a significant part of the program is the excavation process. Like where in your day are you telling yourself that you are not important, that you are not a priority? Because what happens is like tension builds every single time you do that. And we know how to release tension, right? And that's at the end of the day, I'm looking to release that tension at the bottom of a bottle. So the drinking is rarely the whole story. The drinking is really just kind of like a little red flag that's like, oh, okay, something's going on. Something's been going on. Um and we need to look at that programming and how you've been programmed and what kind of like normal is for you from your perspective. Because I bet underneath it is a lot of resentment and loneliness and pressure and exhaustion, emotional suppression, emotional oppression, anger, fear, grief, boredom, identity loss, and then for some women, like a kind of scary amount of like emptiness. Um, Especially for like, I only work with like really high achieving, like high functioning, kind of like normal, regular women, right? And um, they have served all of these functions, build a career, become a wife, become a mom, raise and manage, and then the kids are older and they're not needed as much, and so that part of their identity starts to go away, or the marriage starts failing, and so the role of wife starts to go away. I mean, half, yeah, easily half of my women in the program are first wives. Like, they have an ex-husbands. We got a few widowers. So there's all sorts of these like pieces of your identity that you've been trained into that start to kind of shed away as life goes on. And so that's kind of where like the emptiness comes in, is like, well, that's gone now. Like, what am I? Who am I? And it's unbearable and it's overwhelming. And it's just like, oh, it's a big question for some women. You're sitting alone in this like beautiful kitchen. Like, now what? So alcohol, like a lot of women say to me, like, alcohol feels like my best friend. And so when I hear that sentence, it's really hard, and I have to like assure them, like, I if this feels like your best friend, there's comfort there, there's relief, there's permission to be yourself and just kind of like exist the way you want to. And then I'm certainly not going to be the person to come in and be like, well, you need to let go of your best friend. Absolutely not. But we're going to find what the payoff is in that relationship for you, because there's something in your relationship with alcohol that is being provided for you that's missing in your, outside the house life, or outside of you life, right? Shitty marriages, you hate your job, you feel like an outcast in your friends, or like you don't quite fit in it, like something, like there's something that's missing on the outside that you are getting from alcohol, a relief, a comfort, something. No rejection, no difficult conversations, really, not with alcohol. I mean, maybe with people after, but not with alcohol. Just like a relief, a relaxation that comes with it, right? So there's something, and we need to figure out what that something is, so we can start recreating it for you, or we can figure out why you think that you can't get that anywhere else. And sometimes it's a pattern of, I just feel so low about myself, and I have all these beautiful things, XYZ, but those are just kind of like to mask that I really don't have super great self-esteem, and I don't think very highly of myself. But nobody would ever know that, because, look at my perfect family and my great career and my like hot spouse. And alcohol is a way to perpetuate that we don't deserve goodness, that we don't deserve, like, there's a limit to our happiness, right? There's like a ceiling. Like, sure, you can have it all, but only this much. You can't have all this stuff and be super happy. You can't have all this stuff and experience peace and joy. No, that's not for me. That's for other people. It's not for me. Right? So alcohol becomes a very great way for us to like keep ourselves small, to keep self-sabotaging, to keep us in a place of where I'm comfortable being a little bit uncomfortable all the time, because that's what I think I deserve. Let me know in the comments if I'm blowing your mind with this stuff right now, okay? Because I feel like I'm saying some real truths here, you guys, okay? So the real sort of recovery process, right? As you know, I am recovering from everything. The podcast is recovering from everything. My registered trademark is recovering from everything. The Self Control Solution Women's Program is under the umbrella of recovering from everything. The recovery is not about the alcohol. The recovery is making amends with yourself and figuring out who you are and what you like doing. That's the real work. It's not the stop drinking. That's kindergarten. That's nothing. That is like, it's so insignificant. Get violently drunk. I genuinely don't care. And I say this to women at the beginning. I don't want you to even think about the drinking. What I want is for them to start the assignments that are focused on figuring out how you feel and think and treat yourself. That's the real work. Okay. Everything else falls into place, right? You're not going to get violently drunk forever. But at the beginning, what matters is that you are starting to dig into you. And you're not doing it alone. And all my assignments are like very, there's a million videos explaining what to do and like how you're going to do this and what the point of everything is. And so, and then there's coaches checking your work. And then by the time I look at your work and I'm giving you feedback, I know that you've had this very like tailored experience. But that is the real work. The recovery is coming back to yourself. And for some people, meeting yourself for like the first time. Sitting with yourself without needing to escape. Can you feel discomfort without immediately pouring booze on it? What do you do when you're bored? Can you tolerate boredom? Why not? Rest is such a big one for my women. Like the refusal to allow rest, to feel like we're lazy or failing if we're not go, and if we're not producing and we're not doing. The doing is such an illusion. Like, and we'll hide behind it and like, oh, I'm just so busy. And I'm like rolling my eyes like, girl, enough. Like I've literally heard it all. Like we will find the busier we are and like the more important that like I am in my life, the easier it is for me to not address myself. Like I know these tricks, I know these distractions, I know these masks. I also use them. I used to use them a lot more. I still sometimes slip into them now. Right? Can't go to the gym because like I need to like write some more shitty ads that no one's gonna care about. And I'm like, no. Self-care. I have to train myself into paying attention to myself. So that's the recovery, and that's what the program is designed for, and the community is for, and the coaches are for, is like we're focused on like you. Like we don't necessarily, we come to learn, but we don't know who you are in your life. We don't know who you think you are. We just see you as like a woman. We know that we all have this same issue, and that's who we see. And it's so much easier to show up just as like yourself, as a woman who is vulnerable, who doesn't know things about herself, who's here to learn, who's here to share. That's what we see. So you're not fooling me with how important you think you are in your life. Yeah, and like a lot of women will say like I just can't picture my life without alcohol, and like I just kind of want to, I'm not an abstinence-based program. I will never ask you to quit drinking ever. That's not my plate. That's not a function that I can ever serve in your life. Whatever your goals are, and usually goals start off with, I want to drink less or whatever. But our goals often get replaced with really practical day-to-day practices of like how I treat myself. So like my goals now are to like eat really well and like physically move around consistently. The goals for someone who's newer, let's say, is the goals are to access the programming for 15 or 20 minutes a day and attend at least one of the coaching calls a week, and fill out the weekly check-in on Sunday night. Like those are the goals. So it's like these goals of like, I'm going to pay attention to myself in these very specific ways. The alcohol stuff will fall into place. It's like nice to have those goals also, but like you've also been yakking in your own ear for years being like, okay, only two, okay? Here's my goals, but they're actually just like rules for alcohol or XYZ. Like I'm only going to have one, or I'm going to have like one every other day or whatever. And it's like, okay, we've already tried that. That shit doesn't work. So like let's stop focusing on the freaking alcohol, right? Like we spend so much time thinking about the booze and to drink and to not drink and how much am I drinking and oh I can't drink and how much did I drink last time and then the next time I can't drink this time and then this is what I'm going to do with this one and then I put some in the freezer and then I'm going to put some out in the garage to make sure that I don't drink. And it's like, oh my gosh, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Can we just stop thinking about alcohol for like 1 second? Let's think about ourselves. Like, what do you want? What do you want to eat today? Let's make the goal to make yourself a delicious dinner. Let's make the goal to go for a 20-minute walk Monday and Wednesday and Friday, right? See the difference? Huge. That's the recovery piece, is like coming back to yourself, like actually paying yourself a speck of attention, as opposed to with the booze and the alcohol, and then I'm drinking and then I'm not drinking, and like, enough. I'm sick to death of thinking about an inanimate object, some fermented freaking grapes or potatoes in a bottle with an expensive label. Like, okay, yes, we've thought about that enough. I think I'm going to wrap it up there. That was a good rant. I hope it makes sense though. Like, whatever the title of this ends up being is that it's not the booze necessarily. It's we are programmed, we are stuck in a pattern of escaping ourselves, avoiding ourselves, ignoring ourselves, and we will find like the more fruitful and wonderful and rich and filled your life is, the easier it is for us to be like, well, I couldn't possibly think about myself for 20 minutes a day, you know? We'll think about alcohol for that long. Anyways, it's not the booze, it's that you are hooked on escaping yourself. Thanks for listening to another episode of Recovering from Everything, a podcast for everyone who has ever had anything happen to them ever, including finding every excuse in the world to not pay attention to themselves. I am your host. I will see you when I see you. Oh, right, our big surprise. So, in an effort to reach more women and be more helpful, we are building a very, very, very affordable community. There is going to be programming within the community. It's going to be a monthly fee. It's going to be pretty freaking beautiful. So keep an eye on that. If you follow me on socials, or if you're not on my email list yet, make sure to get on my email list. You can do it if you just go through like the registration link below. It'll pop you on my email list. I'll send out an email blast. But yeah, because I want to build a community of high functioning women, but my base program, like to work with me this closely on a regular basis, is very pricey, as some of you know. So I've, over the years, had to say no to working with a lot of women, or they've said no to me, because of the pricing. So this community is for those women, who want really consistent care and consistent community without the price tag, but B, the sort of commitment. So, I'll have one call every couple of weeks. Come if you want to chat. Don't come. That's okay too. They'll be recorded. And we're revamping all of the programming within my current program, to make it a little bit more accessible, when there's not, multiple coaches holding your hand through each of the content. So it's going to be in that app called School, and we're really excited about it. My partner Sherry and I, many of you know Sherry, she's my right arm. I would literally die without her. She and I are kind of developing it and throwing around ideas and just building it right now, so that hopefully it won't be too much of a delay, but it'll make it very, very accessible. We're going to have really, really cheap pricing for the first couple of weeks, just so we can start to get the community in there. And I'm just so excited. I'm so excited about it because there's so many like women in my DMs, or women I genuinely wish that I could work with, that I could meet, that I could follow them along on their journey and help them out wherever. But my base program is not designed for everyone. And frankly, that's part of the appeal. Like, I like our small crew, 40, 50 women. So the school group is going to be much bigger. It'll still be for like a specific demo of just sort of normal, good achievers, good lives women, who are stuck in a pattern with their drinking. And it's going to be a monthly membership fee. And it'll be a lot more like hands off than my base program, but I'll still be there and Sherry will still be there, and we're still going to have a ton of programming. So you can start making those changes. You can start excavating. You can start coming back to yourself, and you can start really reprogramming the way that you treat yourself. So that's the big news. Keep your ears to the streets and your eyes to the sky, and I'll roll that out when we feel like we're ready. All right. I love you so much. Thank you for listening, and I will see you soon. Bye.